Hey everybody, this is Cody from Bonnie Acres Farm with another video, and today we're going to be looking at the assembly of 2 incubators. We're going to do another round of meat birds, so I will show you how to get these things set up, and then in a couple weeks, 3 weeks probably, we'll have a part 2 of this with another hatch day. So stick around and see if we can learn something together. Alright, so we have 2 incubators here now. The one on the left here is the Nurture Right 360. Looks like on the top. We used this in our previous video for our second hatch of the year. And then this is just called the Digital Egg Incubator. Tried to peek and see if there was a brand name. There probably is somewhere, but I don't see it. Anyway, this one is going to be new for us. We just got this used through someone in our homeschool group, so very exciting to get a new one. The Nurture Right does 22 eggs, and the Digital Egg Incubator does 24 eggs, so we'll see how that works out. The Nurture Right has this automatic rotating frame that will every hour or so rotate the eggs as the mama bird would, so the eggs lay on their side. And then this one uses these and will tilt them every so often, just as mama bird would. So we're going to try out something different this time, where we're going to do a drier incubation instead of the recommended humidity from the manuals on one of these. I don't think we're going to do both that way, but just to test and see what results we get. Some people have been saying they've been getting better results by doing a lower humidity, about 35%, I've heard. 55 to, I believe, 45 to 55 is the usual humidity you're looking for the first leg of your hatch. And when you get into the lockdown, which is when the last 3 days, you take out the rotators, the automatic rotating devices for your incubators, is when you amp up that humidity, which we will do more accurately. But we just want to try it out this way and see if we're going to get better results out of our hatch, like some people have been saying they've been getting. All right, so first I'm going to set up the Nurture Right 360. I'll walk through it real quick. So you got this automatic turner that comes out. You'll put that in for the first 18 days, and then, well, this is for chickens, I guess I should be more specific, but for the first 18 days, that way it's automatically rotating, and then you will remove that the last 3 days so that they are no longer rotating. Let me just walk through the plugins, and you see there's 2 plugs back here. You've got power supply. This one's so loud, I don't know how the other one's going to sound, but if you're ever out of temp, or if the humidity is not right, it can and will alarm you. Usually it's for the temp. I don't know if the humidity will go off, but it is loud. It'll wake you up. And so underneath is this other cord, and that's for the egg turner. You plug that in there, and you can do a test turn by pressing the plus and the minus together. And there you see it rotating. So that looks good. Another button, the other buttons up here. So this is the menu OK. You press it to do the days left. Right now it's 0 days because we did our hatch, so we have to reset that. We'll do that in a minute. And then this is your egg light, and that is really bright. So that's for candling. You put your egg on there after a few days to see if the eggs have taken or not. And you can candle along the way just to see progress. You shouldn't do it too much handling, too much leaving the comfort of this. The temperature here and the humidity here can affect your hatch rate. Okay, so another part of the Nurture Right, you have an A and a B port. The A you fill first for the first 18 days. The B, this had a cap on it. We don't have a cap anymore, so we just tape over it. But we tape over this, and we do not fill it. And then 18 days to 21 days, you fill the B cap port as well. Check regularly because the A dries up quick. It's a pretty small reservoir in there, but it's just to keep the humidity at a certain level. Another thing for humidity control is this little aperture or whatever you want to call it here. You just adjust it based on how much humidity you want to let out or lock in, and you check your humidity up here to see where you're at. So if I wanted this lower, I would open it up more to let out more humidity. If I wanted it higher, I would close it up to lock it. So it's usually somewhere in the middle that we have it. If our daughter has access to it, she's always adjusting this. So keep that in mind. All right, so now to get this set up the way we want it, we can adjust the temperature as well as the days to hatch. You're going to hold the menu OK button for, it says 3 seconds. So now it's at 99.5, which is where I want it. To adjust the days, you press menu again. Well, I guess if you want to adjust temperature, you press plus or minus here. So you want it at 99.5. And then for the days, we press menu again. We're at 21. That's what we want, but you can adjust that as well, depending on what you're hatching. Eggs or chickens are 21 days, so we'll just press menu OK. And now it is set. So when I press this, it should, wait a second. Okay, so that's weird. For whatever reason, I set it to 21 and it was still at 0. So I went back in, set it to 20, pressed menu. It would display 20. I went back in, held the menu button 3 seconds, adjusted it to 21, and then it is now showing 21. I don't know why that did that, but it's good now. So if you're dealing with something like that, then try switching it to another day count. Go back, and you can reset it to 21. All right, and in reading the instructions, it says that just resetting the days might not be enough to reset the egg turner. I don't know how accurate that is. Right now the egg turner light is red, so I'm assuming it's good, but if you want to be safe, it says reset with the factory reset buttons. So it's menu and the minus for 5 seconds. So we'll do that. So let's reset. We'll see what happens when I press here. So it says 21 days. I'm going to just hold the menu button down to confirm the temperature is good. So 99.5 is right. Days is good. All right, so it's reset. The egg turner light is on. It was probably fine. If you want to be safe and make sure your eggs are rotating, though, just do both the menu and the minus button for the factory reset, and that should get you going. You can always test your egg turner. Remember, that's plus and minus together. Just tap it once. Rotating good, so that means it's been dropped in fine. I'm not going to add water yet. This is not going to be its final resting place. We will put it down in our basement. So that's the Nurture Right 360 setup. We're good there. All right, so now on to the Digital Egg Incubator. We'll see what we've got here. So we'll open it up. We have about the same amount of buttons, right? So we've got the temperature, the day, plus and minus. This is here, temperature setting. Press and hold the temp button for 3 seconds and you'll adjust it. Hatch days, you press and hold the day button for 3 seconds and then you can adjust that. I'm assuming this press the minus button once is for the light. We'll check that in a minute. The egg turning test, you press the plus button once, and to reset the days to 21 days, press the day button for 3 seconds. But that's the hatch day setting. So days reset to 21, press day and hold for 3 seconds. I'm wondering if this is supposed to say press a day and another button. So we'll figure that out. I'll see if the manual has more information. Similar to the nurture right, you've got 2 plug ports. You've got your power supply over here and your egg turning supply here. The egg turning one is the one that's already plugged into the bottom of the device, just like your nurture right. And then we'll plug the power supply in there and get through this. Also similar, you have this vent for humidity control, and you also have 2 ports. Okay, these ports don't say anything on them, A or B. This one on the left goes to a smaller reservoir, so that would be like your A in your nurture right, and the one on the right is larger, which would be like your B. So this would be your first 18 days, the one on the left, and then the one on your right would be your last 3 days. All right, so we're gonna walk through some of the installation here. So we'll open this up. This is going to be where your yellow trays will rest. It says install it in this slot here. So when the egg turner is operating, this will go left and right, and it will cant these egg turners. Once you have that in, you install these. It's pretty obvious it won't fit if you do it wrong, but this end goes down here, and this one with the 2 goes here, because you're going to put the shorter one in the gray and the longer one in the teal port. So I've heard with this one, people have had more success putting the wider end of your egg up. So we'll do that and see how we get it. So I'm going to plug in the power supply here in the back. This plugged in over here. Okay, so here's the display. So we'll test some of these buttons out. So the temperature setting, press and hold for 3 seconds. 95, that's good. Hatch day setting, press and hold for 3 seconds. 21 days, good. To test the eggs turning, we're going to press the plus once. Oh, there we go. Okay. Working well. The minus should be your light. Yep. And day reset to 21. Press day and something for 3 seconds. Let's figure that one out. Okay, so it says in the manual to press and hold the day and minus together for 3 seconds. So that is a factory reset. Temp is, well, I guess I gotta hold it. 99.5. In the days, it says 21, but you can press and hold it just to confirm. And that is 21. All right, and so one thing, I mean, this might end up hatching better than the nurture right in the end, I'm not sure. Just the one thing I do like more about the nurture right already is that for the last 3 days, you're locked down. You just pull that, the turner out. Your eggs are already on the ground that they're going to be on when they hatch. With this one, you have to remove the yellow and then take your eggs out and put them back in. It's just an extra step, not a big deal, but the nurture right does make it a little easier just by yanking out the turner. One more thing. So both of these say when it gets below temp that you have it set at for too long. So right now it's below temp and it will go off eventually, and the alarm it's really loud. So to silence that alarm when it does go off for this one, you just press the temp once and it'll silence it. To silence the temperature or the alarm for the temperature on the nurture right, it's just menu OK, press it once and it will turn that off Otherwise it'll ring until it gets back into temperature. All right, so I've got my incubators in their final resting place. It's okay. So real quick, I've got my water. So like I said with this one, the digital incubator, I'm just gonna fill that left reservoir with some water and fill the A side, which is the left side, for the Nurture Right 360. Now again, the Nurture Right came with a plug on the B side. I'm just gonna tape that over. This digital incubator one does not seem to have a plug. I'm not sure that I ever did. Honestly, if you don't cover them, I'm not sure how much it affects it, but I'll leave that up to the individual to decide. So now that they're topped off with water, we will load them with eggs. And again, with the digital incubator here, I've heard it's best to put them with the wide bottom of the egg up. Oh. Oh no. All right. Well, that's not a good start. Okay. Let me go deal with that. I'm actually short eggs anyway, so looks like I need another 2 eggs from outside. So I'll clean this out, get my other eggs, and we'll load this one up. All right, all cleaned up, and I got some eggs from outside. So this one fits 6. This one's got 5. This one's got 5. So this incubator says it'll fit 24, but oh, this one's still got a yolk in it. I'm very, very smart. All right, the egg yolk's cleaned up. And I went out and got fresh eggs, just laid today. So I'll drop these ones in instead of the other ones we had stored up. I'm a little traumatized, but let's just see if this egg will go in. No. Maybe this one. It's a little thinner. Oh, I'm trying to be so gentle. There we go. Yeah, that one fits 6. Yeah, it's like there's almost room for 6 in some cases. But I don't want that to happen again. So, okay. Well, anyway. What do we got? We got 12 and then 20. So 22. Same amount as the Nurture Right. We'll see how that goes. This one's all plugged in and set up. I'm going to open the vent all the way on this one. Just see what we get. And make sure you've got both of these plugged in. I mean, if your power supply is not plugged in, this won't light up. And this is your egg turner, so just make sure that's in. We can do a test turn. All right. All is well there. It's not quite the temp yet. That'll be later. And then our egg, or our Nurture Right 360. I'm going to leave this one half open. We're already at a good humidity as far as this goes. Temperature's getting up there. We'll do a test turn. Nothing's hanging up. We'll check the day count is good. Check the day count on this one too. Oh, it's already at 21. There we go. So they're both set up and ready to go. All right, so that is our third hatch for the year with our meat birds. We did 2 single incubator hatches with the Nurture Right, and we just got this digital egg incubator one, so this is kind of like our fourth hatch at that rate. But we'll see how this goes. I'm gonna just watch that humidity over the course of this day. So it's like the next 24 hours you watch that, it says, for both of the manuals. And just make sure that the temperature is actually getting up to temp. Some troubleshooting that you might have to do. If it's not getting up to temp, it's most likely because of the environment. So it could be, ours is in the basement. It's pretty chilly down there. We haven't had an issue with that before, but this is a new incubator for us, so we'll be watching that closely to see that it is getting to temp. Humidity is just about adjusting that vent as I showed you. So make sure you are tuning that based on the needs. So more open means less humid, more closed means more humid. And just watch things closely. After we usually wait 4 to 5 days before we candle the eggs the first time, just to see what's taken. And once you've validated, the ones that have taken and ones that haven't, you could give it a couple more days, 7 days if you wanted, just to see if maybe something is more visible. But by 5 days, you usually have a pretty good picture. Again, you don't want to over candle. Don't candle every single day. That's what it says anyways. I would recommend against it to not affect your hatch rate. And then as you get closer to lockdown, which is day 18 and on, just be prepared to take out your auto egg turning attachment and let your eggs just kind of lay. And day 21 and up to day 22 or 23, usually it's not too much further, but you'll have your hatches start. You start to see your pips, which is what we call them. So this is, again, kind of more of a part 1 video. This is the setting up, preparing for your incubation period. We'll do a part 2 again of our 3rd hatch. So a couple other things that came to mind so before I close this video out, I just wanted to share. One, as far as how long you want to hold on to eggs before you incubate, I've seen varying date ranges, but I wouldn't go more than 5 days if you can help it. It just seems to be a little better hatch rate if you can keep an eye on the date of when you started collecting eggs. So all of our eggs from today were within 5 days of each other. So the older ones might not have as good as a hatch rate, so keep that in mind. I've also heard that you can keep eggs refrigerated before you start incubating. That's, I think we have done that before and it's worked out for us fine. We just have enough layers right now that we can just keep them going and storing eggs up. One thing you want to make sure you're doing while storing eggs is storing them on an angle and rotating that carton every day, just to make sure that there's no air pocket that's settling in that position. So, and the second point I wanted to make was that you are not limited to only this form of incubating. There's also one other form, and that is the natural incubation method, which we have used before. It's not something you can really force, at least as far as I'm aware, not something we have forced. You just have to have a broody hen. And you can always slip more eggs under a broody hen if she's going to be in there. Sometimes the only way to break a broody hen of her cycle is by letting her have her eggs. So we've had success with, more recently, a black Australorp. She went broody on us. And some other breeds that are known for being broody are the buff Orpingtons, tend to be broody, tend to go broody more often. And I'm pretty sure I've heard lavender Orpingtons will go broody as well. We've had Silkies. Silkies are really broody hens, and they will be great mamas. They will walk around with their babies everywhere and protect them. Most hens will, once they hatch, will walk around and protect their babies. Can only do so much. With our black Australorp, she had 5 or 6 eggs hatch, and the barn cats got all but one of them. And the one that was the one that remained ended up dying because of some need not being met. Mama usually shows the babies where the food is, where the water is. If it's not something they can access, or if it's too cold. She had a hatch in the winter, and I don't know if it was a cold that got the last chick or not, but just something to be mindful of. And another breed that we've had success with, I guess this is generalized, but bantams tend to go broody as well. So we've had plenty of different breeds go broody on us, and a few of them we've allowed to actually hatch, and that will that always works too. Mama knows when to turn the eggs. She knows when an egg is going to hatch or not. She'll eventually give up on the ones that aren't going to hatch, so she'll move on. So that's another method. A lot of people complain about broody hens, and I get that. If they're broody, then they're not laying. So I guess a tip on how to break them of broodiness: you just gotta lock them out of that nesting box. We benefit from having separate areas to move chickens to. So we have 3 coops in the back, and then we have a coop in our barn. We can always take a broody hen from one of those coops and rotate her to another part of the property so that she can get away from that mindset. Usually they'll go broody on a clutch, and they'll want to stick to that clutch. If you move them to another spot, usually that breaks them. So just some tips that I thought of before closing this video out. Hopefully you learned something. You stick around and subscribe to watch part 2. If you have any questions, feel free to field them in the comments below. And of course, likes and whatnots always help. But until next time, God bless.